cheers. I would have forgotten. Oh my god. Yeah, can you start recording too in case my camera runs out? Yeah. Just in case. Almost 50. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that. It's just that I don't want to miss anything like a little. But like no. Then yeah, the batteries run out. Yeah. Then it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bad at like this is just very distracting, so I can't pay attention to humor like even when there isn't I got that.
Do they have a mic? Where did they get the mic? Okay.
Yeah, so student activists, me, Addie, and Tiffany have been banned from P110 protests.
For
We
good
legally
reason.
support dissent, but we've been threatened with exclusion from campus if we don't leave here at 8:55. So we're going to leave in a few minutes. But I think the faculty should have to be held responsible for what they did. They haven't tried to speak with us. They haven't tried to dialogue with us. We didn't get any. The only response we got from them was the admin saying, "Stop what you're doing, or else we're going to fucking punish you." So I don't know. Let it be known. Like I think the faculty should be ashamed of what they've done. I think it's a demonstration of their failure to engage with us. I think it's a demonstration of their resistance to dialogue. And I think it should reflect, I think every freshman here should think about the people who are teaching you do not give a fuck about dissent. So, not true. Not
their lecture.
Silencing.
We have been talking
It was a panel.
for a year.
We have been doing silent protest this entire time. I'm so done with this. This is BS. If you care about the Senate, you wouldn't ban students from the speech. The definition of silencing is show me shame. Someone told me I have to worry about the cops getting called on us for a silent protest. We have to worry about you all have to worry about you're targeting us because you are lying. You are targeting us because we're black. Silent protest. Now you're getting rid of the exclusion. You all know it's embarrassing. Here institutions do not do this. We should be accountable. The faculty should be accountable. This is a threat. It's a threat against black students of exclusion. It's embarrassing to the institution. We have shown that we would be respectful of people's lecture and stay silent for the entire thing for like 7 months of last year. First day of lecture. We just want to introduce ourselves. First day of lecture. We just want to introduce ourselves.
You've done it! For a year you've done it!
This is our death. That's the thing. Yes, they are. She just wants to belong to the white students. This class is for us. This class is
This
for
is a
us.
classroom!
We deserve to
This
have
is not the
space here.
class! Right now we are trying to learn! We're the freshman students! You
It's not doing. Wait till 9. Wait till 9. Not a teaching space. This is our space. Wait. When it's 9 o'clock.
understand.
Wait, no. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's
This is as much his space as it is your space.
You're right, but
you don't like
I mean, oh, when the faculty told us to come here before and that's their time, so when the faculty time is at 9, the faculty time at 9, that's fine. We want to speak. I know. We get it. Y'all are freshmen. This is really confusing. There's no really broad history. We're trying to explain it. And we understand there's a variety of perspectives. I don't expect all of you to agree with us. This is a lot of
Like the
information.
opportunity to attend class before we're told what's in it.
I'm sorry. I cannot, with good conscience, sit here and listen to people attack these protesters or those
We're not
who are
attacking.
Please let me finish. I wonder what you're saying. Hold on.
Why don't you let them speak?
Please let them have a chance to speak. Every single time they've tried, they've been shut down. How are we supposed to know both sides of the argument if we are denied the opportunity to hear from them?
color here.
Oh, how many of us are there?
We have to leave that back in the charge tomorrow. Please, one dialogue, I guess, or whatever. People
Oh, man, with the rights.
But we cannot.
If you agree that students of color should not be silenced by the administration and the Hume faculty,
I stand color and I want to listen to this class.
Yes, we're not stopping.
Nobody's
stopping you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
please do not deny us the education.
Nobody's doing that.
You just did that last time.
So hard for you to understand. Get in the way.
I'd like to hear what you have
We're
to
being
say.
quiet tonight. The lecture starts tonight, right? We're not lecture starts.
Please let us attend class if you will.
They were planning on being quiet at 9. And then the faculty shut it down. Class starts at 6:30. Oh my
As long as you allow our class to proceed, we will listen.
We're planning on being quiet at 9. That's when class starts. How is it possible? We have been planning on that thing for 10 years for something we were planning on doing for years. This is last year or the year before that. Oh my God, you're right here. You don't do that. You don't know that. Oh my
We've
God.
been here, we always.
I know, we've been trying to explain that to you though, that we're being quiet at 9. Oh my God. What do you think you're trying to say this whole time? You've been interrupting us. Oh, we're gonna have to.
Kathleen, let's get these please.
King, and I teach English and Complement as well as humanities. A couple of things I want to say. I guess I want to start with an image that came floating across my mind this morning as I got out of the shower and got dressed to come here. In the way that dreams can suddenly come back to you in this moment, I realized that actually, possibly for the first time that I was conscious of, I had dreamed that I was naked when I left this morning. Pretty much understand why. Then I looked up and I realized that all of you were naked too. Rainbow. We have a lot of different opinions. There's a lot of promptness in the exchange of those opinions. I would hope that we can still remember that we are all vulnerable, that we all have struggles, and that together we can discover our strengths. The second thing I want to say is that he has a dissent policy that actively encourages dissent, but the limits for that dissent is the classroom space. So within the classroom space, what happens is learning, and dissent takes place outside of that. That's been the consensus that the Q110 faculty has come to in relation to this particular case. So, I'm going to be lecturing about Gilgamesh, and the title of the lecture is When Terrified by Death. The lecture has 3 parts. I will provide a brief account of this year's syllabus. I will briefly situate the Epic of Gilgamesh in its historical context. And at greater length, I will argue that the concept of the double, or the self and the other, the self and its avatar, is central to Enkidu and Gilgamesh's equation. So let me start with part 1, the survey of the syllabus. Over the course of this year's syllabus, we will study the rise and fall of various empires that competed for control of the vast geography of the ancient Mediterranean. So a series of slides here that gives you the geography of this area. And here the names are, this is the Near East, and these are Near Eastern names. But you can recognize the area from which Gilgamesh comes right. We begin our study in Mesopotamia, here pictured in manifest destiny of the U.S.'s self-appointed role as a superpower. It is key to our own aspirations for equal citizenship to study how earlier empires defined and deployed power through their leaders, in their laws, and in their accounts of the classes, the sexes, and of ethnicity. How they made the colonization of new lands and the conquest of natural resources a way of life. Why they thought of slavery and the displacement of peoples for economic gain as inevitable and ubiquitous. We have a responsibility to inquire into our inheritance of such history and our own relation to the ideas we encounter. A second important reason to study ancient cultures, and I say here culture, not empire, is to understand the contributions they have made to the shape of human experience and to human flourishing, even in our own world. Excavations of the cities of Ur, Uruk, Ugarit, and Nineveh have shown that astronomy, geometry, theology, and philosophy, as well as urban planning, irrigation, systems for the collection and distribution of goods, and large-scale record-keeping were instrumental to these cultures. Archaeological digs have also turned up the earliest literary texts we know of. So literary, that is a text that actually appears in a written form. Obviously, there are oral traditions all over the world, and this is also an oral tradition. Among them, there are king lists, poems, and multiple versions of an epic that give prominence to a certain Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk in ancient Sumer around 28,000 BCE. Such discoveries must bring home to us that Mesopotamia's influence on the texts and artifacts we study later this year is so profound that to ignore that influence would be to distort our understanding of later texts. If your reading of Gilgamesh has brought to mind stories that you know from the Bible, including the story of the flood or the troublesome serpent, then you have an inkling of the complexity of networks of intercultural transmission that lead all the way to our own contemporary culture. That said, I would ask that you never forget that Hume 110's account of our cultural inheritance is partial at best, representing a model of humanistic inquiry, rather than a survey of all possible subjects of humanistic inquiry. So what we're trying to do here is to give you a model of how a humanist might proceed, and we're inviting you to bring that model and models allied with it to all the other fields and interests that you might have over the rest of your 4 years at Reed. Our collective project in Hume 110 is hence to build an inclusive account of the broader ancient Mediterranean, an account that incorporates the complex currents of cultural influence that ebbed and flowed among these peoples. Dauntlessly traveling by foot, on horseback, and by ship, they were far more mobile than we tend to imagine possible. Past scholarship has sometimes portrayed these ancient cultures, especially the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian, as monolithic, as deeply